So, hi everyone, this is Prigyansha, and I am currently going to pursue my MBA from SPJIMR from this June. So, just to give you a quick background about myself, I am an engineer and I have a 1 year work ex in marketing. And right now, I have received calls from several IIMs. I've converted 13 of them, and I've also converted MDI and other institutions that probably any MBA aspirants wants to crack. So these are the final outcomes. I just want to take you to a journey that is very beautiful to me, that is very special to me, in a way that it taught me a lot of things during a person coming from an engineering background and has some interest in marketing and then wants to pursue a professional degree in the same, but who was a clueless. This journey was an awesome one. This was my second attempt at CAT. So back in 2021, when I gave my first attempt, it was a very vague one. I didn't, had a lot of times for preparing for this uh, basically CAT examination. I just went ahead. I had an idea about the sections things, but I didn't prepared well and all. So, the scores wasn't that great. So probably a thought struck me that MBA is not my thing. It's similar to all the other competitive examinations, that it cannot be cracked and etc. stuff. But back in June, when I decided to reappear CAT examination, because pursuing MBA from any top institution in India is something which holds a great value, because you get to learn a lot of things out there. So, when I started preparing in June, it was again I was blank. I didn't know how to start preparing for it. So, what I did was plays a very important role in any examination, and CAT is one such examination where you have to do a very good analysis of everything that comes your way. So I sat one day, uh looked at the sections, what the syllabus are. Probably for the VARC, we have verbal ability. There are 5 different types of questions under it. And then we have RCs, we have LRDI, where we have logical reasoning and data interpretation, and then we have Quant. So I did analysis of all the syllabus myself, and then I identified that even after coming from an engineering background, I had a section in Quant where it was a very weak for me. Like, I was not very good at probability, PNC, and all those stuffs, geometry specifically. So I did an analysis of the chapters that I'm not good at. I knew that where I have to put in my maximum efforts, because with, I think, 4 5 months left in hand, you should be very clear that where you have to channelize your efforts accordingly. First, it was for VARC. What I knew in the very beginning was it consists of 2 parts. One is VA, one is RC. That's it. So what I did was I did and for RC, as many mocks as possible would really, really help. So some of us have a habit of reading newspaper, books, etc. Some of us don't. So the people who do not have the habit of reading newspapers or books or novels, etc., doesn't mean that you are not going to crack your examination. It's just that you need to put in a little extra effort in getting through it. So felt, I what I followed was I did practice. I attended some classes, watched some YouTube videos, and got a gist of how RC passage looks like, because it consists of mainly inference based questions. So CAT RC, if you look at, it's not a very direct one. It has some inference based questions, like what can you infer from that paragraph. So that requires a very strong analytical skills. So that can only be achieved through the practice. That's the keyword for RC thing. So what I did was I took up every day I took up around two passages, not a very big deal. That would just take you around 20 minutes or 25 minutes. I took up two passages every day and solved it. There were times where out of four sets of question, I just got one correct or zero correct. But that is not important. What is important is where you are wrong. And analysis, as I said, that the primary key to success in CAT examination is analysis. So, I just analyzed where I went wrong, the inference based question, and made sure that next time when a similar question comes, my way of analysis should be the right one and not the previous mistake should be repeated. So, that practice every day, two mocks, uh, just from you can opt for any sectional mock series. So you can opt for any two RC. Maybe if you're not coming across anything, please go forward with the previous year paper. That also helps. So pick up any two RC and do the analysis of the same. Attempt it. Look at the solution. More than attention, the analysis is important for RC. Second, coming to the verbal part of things, I was aware that there are 5 to 6 different types of questions that CAT asks every year from the previous year trends. Now, what I need to prepare was each section. So, be it parajumbles or any different kind of questions, I just went through the sectional test for verbal. So, I knew the strategy. By that, two things happened. One, I knew how to crack the strategy of any verbal questions. And second, it gave me a variety of questions in front of me to solve it. So that was very helpful during the CAT examinations, because this year, I think CAT introduced a new question type. So, practicing different sets of question and around, I solved around 1000 questions before CAT examination. So I think that really helped me to speeding up my analysis. So even after a new format was introduced this year, I think that was very helpful to crack. So this is one thing about VRs. It's all about practice. It's all about how you analyze things, and verbal, you can rock it. So that is it. And coming to the DILR section, this is, I think, by far the easiest or the toughest, you can say both. This is the section which is very unpredictable, is the word I can use for this section. Why? Because someone who doesn't read anything, doesn't do anything, and go and sit straight away to the examination and has a very strong analytical skills could crack those questions. And someone who has studied all the way long and can get lost in the ocean of the questions and could screw up the entire DILR section. So this section's preparation strategy is very important. What I followed was, I really like logical reasoning personally, but then CAT's reasoning is different because it combines 2 to 3 chapters and then gives a very lengthy question and you have to crack it. So what I did, I break it up into two parts. One is DI and LR. And since I was very good at LR thing, and I knew there are 4 to 5 questions which are going to come in this section, and there would be a breakup, that 2 questions from DI, 2 questions from LR, etc. So what I did was, for my DI preparation, I did went through the previous year papers first, because solving previous year paper gives you an idea of what actually the CAT paper looks like. So that data interpretation, I did attended some classes of EduShastra as well. I also simultaneously I looked at the previous year CAT papers, and I tried solving, I tried interpreting the data, and I failed as well. I failed in some starting some questions. I was not able to interpret how things goes, like, etc. But eventually, when you solve previous year paper, last 5 year paper, last 6 year papers, you get an idea of how the DI section looks like. How are you going to approach the data interpretation? And I think if you solve around 50 questions or first 30 questions, you'll have a fair idea of how exactly you have to interpret the data. And there is no shortcut. There's no shortcut to data interpretation section rather than the practicing thing. So whatever material you get, be it your anything from YouTube, the previous year paper or your coaching material, etc., please go through the questions, try solving it, and then look at the solution in the end. So if question solving take 2 minutes, please spend at least 5 to 6 minutes in the analysis portion, because that plays a very vital role during the final day of preparation. So I think data interpretation follows a very good pattern where you have to be just familiar with different types of graphs. You should know how to study them. So that is available in the material. I went through some graphs, and then the previous year gave me a fair trend of how the questions look like, where I am lagging, and where what are the strategy you need to follow. So I think that really helped me. And coming to the logical reasoning, I like that subject a lot. So I just gave a brush up of different concepts like the setting arrangement, direction, etc. And then finally jump to the different questions which are available. So I think you should, before your CAT examination, at least try to cover 300 to 500 sets, so that you have a clear idea of solving or the practice of solving things, because it's not going to repeat anyhow. But you have to, questions are not going to repeat anyhow, but you'll have a fair understanding of how things looks like, right? So last but not the least, that is quant. This was my weakest subject. So what I did was I put in I divided it into four segments, that is algebra, arithmetic, geometry, and others, which are miscellaneous problems. So I was good at arithmetic portion. At least I knew how to crack the basic simple interest and profit loss questions. So what I started with is, you should have a very clear understanding of the fundamentals, and then you should move to the questions. So many a times it happens that you know all the formulas of, let's say, profit and loss, but you're not able to crack questions in examination, and that happens with me. So what I did was, I did read the basic fundamentals. I made a note of all those formulas so that I could revisit them, and then it takes around 20 to 30 minutes. Now straight away jump to some question solving. You so solve around 20 to 30 questions post writing formulas and all, and then again go to the previous year questions. So what previous year questions would help you to do is, you it will be able help you able to see that if you are if you are well versed to crack those questions after reading the formula. So all of us know what the formula of discount is, selling price, cost price, etc. is, but when you go to the actual CAT questions, many of us get stuck there. We are not able to apply the actual concepts. We don't know how to start with, or somewhere we stuck in the middle thing. So, that analysis is very important when you go to a section, when you go to a question and you're not able to solve it. So, when you open a solution and you have to see that where you are stucking, whether it's the starting, whether it's the concept application, or whether it's anything, right? So that is really going to help you, because that helped me a lot. Divide into four parts quant syllabus. Read chapters. Read each chapters, I would suggest. But something you're not able to grasp, or it's something out of your scope, you can leave it for the end. Try to cover as much syllabus as possible, but it's not necessary, it's not mandatory to cover the entire thing, because out of 24 questions, if you're able to solve 12 to 13 questions correctly with the precision, you're going to score above 99, 98 percentile for sure. So I think you have to be very accurate in your attempts. That's what I learned. In the subject that you're weak at, focus more on accuracy, the quality more than quantity. Second, time test. After you complete all these syllabus, right? Go for the time test. So 40 minutes each. Opt for any mock test, and mock tests are very important thing, because solving in a very free environment versus the time test, it is a very much different. So probably in the month of September, right, August or September, start with the sectional mock test, the verbal 40 minutes, time it, and then solve it in 40 minutes. See what your scores are, see where you're lagging. And I think that really helps you. So I think sectional mock test starts with sectional mock test. I did refer to some, and you can then go to the full length mock, time it for the 2 hours, and then solve as much as you can. Because for me, my 60% of my score, I'll owe it to the mock test, because that really helped me to understand where I actually lag. So it's very difficult to attempt the DILR section in a mock test, scenario. So I think you should not get stuck anywhere in the between, be it in any section. If you're not able to solve a question, for verbal, I think it's 1 minute. For DILR, it's around 5 minutes. If you're not able to crack that set within 5 minutes, leave it. Revisit it post you complete all the papers, but leave it for that time, because many people lose the easy sets in while trying to complete the hard one, while trying to crack the hard one, and they end up ultimately losing both of them. So take a timer, 5 minutes. If you're not able to crack the set, please move ahead to the next one, right? You just have 40 minutes. For the quant, just take a minute. If you're able to interpret the question, if you're able to see that where it goes through, attempt it. If not, leave it, move to the next question. That should be your strategy. Your mind should work in a dynamic way, that you're able to crack all those questions and give your best shot. So that's about it. That's how my preparation strategy looks like, the mocks and everything. And then post that, we had a lot of interviews, and some exciting ones, GIs, PIs, and then GDs. So we had a lot of stuffs coming up. So personal interview, yes, that is very important aspect post this. So we had group discussion and the writing assessment that most of the institutions take. I think reading the current affairs is very important. So along with your CAT preparation, please read all those current affairs, because for ZAT and other IAFT and other examination, I think current affairs plays a very vital role, because that's a part of question paper. And in your interviews, every interviewer will evaluate you on the basis of your current affairs. There is one section in every interview, be it in IIM Cozy Code, be it in XLRI, be it in SPJIMR, everyone would ask you, MDI, everyone would ask you something about the current affairs. So I think last 6 months, getting updated with the news, just the basic understanding of what the news is, will really help. And it's not about work ex, it's not about being a fresher, it's not about engineer, non-engineer, etc. Interview is all about how you are honest with your profile, right? So how you present your profile in a way that the interviewer gets an idea of it. So my most of the interviews, the questions revolved around my work ex. I just had a year of work experience, but my most of the questions were around workx and how my interest shifted from engineering to the marketing end, etc. So you should be very clear in your approach to the questions that are being asked. There are some predefined questions like what your interest is, how did your suppose you're a BCom guy, so how did that interest, why MBA at this point of time, when you can go ahead with the BCom CA and then other job. When you are an engineer, they'll say why you just don't go for the core thing, and why again switching the entire domain to MBA. So you should be very rigid with your answers and very clear. They're very good panelists, but then you just have to be very clear in your approach to answering. And then they'll ask you all the real time questions as well. Like they'll give you some scenario and how you would react to it. They'll ask you the current affair a question, like in our time there was one Air India deal that took place, so they'll ask you about the opinions in that. So read current affairs, right? And once you crack the CAT examination in November, you know the results are going to be good. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to prepare for interviews, and there are some set of questions like why MBA. Then second is that how does your background look like and how it aligns with our institution's values, etc. So these are some of the predefined questions which I think everyone who is appearing for interview should have in mind. So those answers, of course, should not be rehearsed, but should have in mind the pointers, and you can deliver it accordingly. So that happened in a lot of my interviews. Moreover, people do value ethics and all. So you have GIs in institutions like SPCIMR. So there you have to have some mock GIs with your peers, friends, etc. So that is my tip, that be confident, be clear of what you have done, go step by step, explain to him because he doesn't know you. The panelist is meeting you for the first time, wants to understand what is your background, where you have come from, and where you will align with his institution. So make sure that you do not manipulate the panelists, but you put your point very clear, that where you come from and where you aspire to be, your future goals, and how that institution will act as a bridge between your future goal and your present state. That's it. That's the interview is about. So that requires the current affair knowledge and a very good building of your profile, and at least being clear of your achievements and all your background in your head. So that really helped me in clearing all of my interviews. So I think I appeared for all the interviews, and I think I cleared all of them. So this approach really helped me, and I know that it will help you too.